Hi, this is my second video now. I have decided to address a concept essential to most subjects that your student is going to study. It is pointless in order to teach anything to your student if they quickly forget what you have taught them. So memory is probably one of the most foundational things that you need to consider. If you want to get involved with the subject more deeply, I'm going to link some resources below in the description. While we are doing this, can you please press like and subscribe so that I can make more videos. Okay. This particular video is just the Cliff Notes version of how memory works and how you can maximize it for the benefit of your student. The best way to study anything is to study what you are passionately interested in. This is why the child-led and the unschooling approach is so popular, because what happens with child-led learning is that your student gets interested in a particular subject. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. And then what you as the teacher do is you turn to becoming a facilitator rather than a teacher. What you do is that you locate resources for your child, and you go on ahead of them and you find anything that's going to help them to learn their subject matter. For instance, let's say that your child becomes interested in military history. You will go online and you will look for local battlefields and for local experts that your child can talk to. You will go on Google and find different museums, which maybe at the moment you would want to have virtual tours. You can look into books and websites and other items that will help you make your subject matter more interesting for your child. You need to keep trying to broaden their scope of their interests and to deepen the level of learning that is happening. Once the child runs out of interest in the subject, then you move on to the next subject. If the child doesn't have a follow-up interest, then you shift to a teacher-led version. The teacher-led version of unschooling is the unit study. With the unit studies, the teacher chooses the subject. Let's say they choose pirates, and then the teacher will link all the different subjects to that main subject in order to ensure that it becomes a web of knowledge where the child can get lots of different links to hang different facts on. That way there is a mesh of different memories and different knowledge that the child will be able to remember. Make sure that when you teach your child, it is as fun and as lively as possible. That way it ensures that there's maximum amounts of dopamine and serotonin, which help facilitate learning. Children learn best when they are happy. When they are miserable and they have negative emotions, that is counterproductive. Children do not learn well when they are miserable. Okay, another thing to think about is music. Music is a very good way of learning any repetitive subject so that the children can retain it better. Not everything that your child is going to learn is going to be able to be studied in these manners. There is going to be some subject matter which they are just going to have to memorize. When you are obliged to memorize something, then you have a very steep drop-off, memory drop-off. With the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, you'll see that within an hour of learning something, you have a 50% drop-off of memory. And then it continues to drop off after that. So it's important to beat the curve. In order to ensure that material is retained in the best possible way, it is important to repeat and review it at very specific intervals. 20 minutes after learning the subject for the first time, you need to go back and summarize it. An hour later, you need to do that again. You need to look back and just glance over it and see what you learned an hour ago. The next day, before you start the new day's work, you can go over what you did yesterday. Then a week later, you review it again, and a month later, you review it for the last time. This way, you ensure that the maximum amount is retained by your student. Session, I think we can leave it for that for this time. My next subject that I'm going to address will be learning to read. Okay, see you around. Bye.